What is going on, traders? Welcome back to the Traveling Trader. In this video, I'm going to talk about whether the stock market will crash again. Looking at the S&P 500, is another crash in 2020 imminent? And then I'll give you a few stocks that are currently in my stock watch list, but let us go over the market analysis and see what are the chances of another stock market crash here. Looking at the S&P 500, this is actually the SPY, the ETF that tracks the S&P 500. But here's the level that the S&P needs to hold in order to stave off another crash. There is a central pivot point here denoted by the P. Now, if you're not familiar with pivot points, pivots are an indicator that all they really do is establish support and resistance based on a certain algorithm. And you have a main central pivot line, which you can think of as the mean. Anything above that is resistance, anything below that is support. But if you take a look at the SPY, it's been respecting the pivot, the central pivot point throughout this rally, right? So after the market crash, every time that we rallied and came back to retest this pivot point, we rallied again, retested the pivot point, rallied again, retested this pivot point. Now, here's what's interesting. This pivot point currently lies at around $296 or $295, $296. So we basically need to continue this trend to stave off another market crash, because if we fall below this, then we can expect another correction, potentially another crash, maybe a W recovery, maybe even go lower than the previous market crash, which I personally doubt for a few reasons, because that would mean that companies like Facebook, Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, Google, etc. have to also fall in order to drag down the S&P 500 to these levels. It also means that the Fed and the government have halted any sort of stimulus programs or quantitative easing or policies that have up to this point pumped the market. So personally, I don't think that that's realistic. But anyway, besides the point, this right here is what you need to focus on, this pivot, the central pivot line here at around 295 for the SPY, because it would break this trend that we've established since the market crash bottom. Currently, what the S&P is doing is actually a neutral position. This looks for now to be a consolidation period similar to the one that we saw back here between, the third week of April and the third week of May. This month here, we traded sideways, and this was so far, up until this point, this was the only form of sideways trading that we've had since the market crash. We had, the violent crash, the violent rally, then sideways trading, which can be considered consolidation or continuation before another uptrend. And here we are seeing another continuation period. These are actually healthy because it allows volatility to taper off a bit and allows the market to sort of find a stability range before continuing up. So far in the short term, this doesn't look ominous at all. This just looks like another continuation period. And the point that you need to focus on is the central pivot point at around $295. If we break this, we'll fall back into this consolidation range that we saw back here between April and May. And if we break that, we're definitely looking at least a W-shaped recovery and not this V-shaped recovery. All right, with that out of the way, here are a few stocks that are on my stock watch list currently. We bought into FMCI this morning when it retested the 21 EMA, currently up around 8% on this. This is a special purpose acquisition company that is looking to merge with a company called Tattooed Chef, which will be a competitor to Beyond Meat. Special purpose acquisition companies have been really killing it this year, especially during the market crash. Think of DraftKings, Nikola, SPCE. These were all part of these special deals with these special purpose acquisition companies where they then get rolled into the main stock. So this will eventually get rolled into the parent company that owns Tattooed Chef. Looking at Beyond here, I'm a big fan of Beyond for those of you that have followed the channel and look to buy it at every opportunity that it retests the 21 EMA, currently sitting on the 21 EMA right now. Another company that may have fallen under your radar is SE or C Limited. This is a company that trades out of or that operates out of Singapore, but this stock just looks like Shopify or Lululemon or Zoom, just one constant uptrend. So I'm definitely not going to be adding SE here. I will be looking for a retest of at least the 50 or the 200 MA would be a perfect retest, but it is certainly in my radar right now. VeriSign, this has retested the 50 MA, which besides the market crash that we saw here in in March, the 50 MA has been an equalizer for VeriSign and has shown to actually be a good buying point. This is on the weekly chart. And then for a riskier play, I'm looking at GNC. I did, do a video about bankrupt stocks and how to deal with them, how to trade them. But GNC is currently up around 30% today. Bankrupt stocks have definitely been a favorite of Robinhood traders. Data shows that most of the volume in bankrupt stock trading has come from Robinhood users. But the reason that these rally so hard is twofold. One, because they turn into penny stocks, and it kind of becomes this self-fulfilling prophecy where a few bankrupt stocks were pumped. Now all these swing traders and day traders think that bankrupt stocks are worthy of a pump, and so they actually end up pumping them themselves. And the second reason is more practical, because the hope is that GNC will come out of this, right? Restructuring its debt will come out of this either a brand new company that exists mostly online, or that they will eventually get bought out by another company, which will then boost its stock price. Now, GNC has hit this R1 here on the pivot point, so I'm looking for a retrace before jumping back in. So not buying into this immediately, but it is definitely on my watch list. All right, that is it for this video. So we wrapped up talking about a potential market crash. What are the chances of that, and what points you need to look out for in order to determine whether we could see another market crash or not. And we went over a few stocks in my watch list. Here are some of the options that we're currently trading down on AMD, actually about 40%. CHK, I'm up almost 40%. CVM, around 21%. Nikola, I should be collecting 100% tomorrow if it closes above $64. NVIDIA Iron Condor currently up around 53%. If you want access to these options trades as well as my stock trades, link is in the description. Sign up if you want access to that. You also get access to our private trading group, where you get to have discussions with the rest of the group about trades we're entering, strategies, how to trade options, what's on our current watch list, etc., etc. Leave a comment below. Let me know what it is that you're trading. And it's near the end of the month, so I will be doing another sweepstakes where I will literally trade. I will pick a comment randomly from the comment section below, and I will literally go all in into that trade with our Webull account that I have about $1,000 in there. And any profits I make, I will give to the person whose comment I pick. Leave a thumbs up if you got anything out of this video. Subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Stay safe out there, traders. Peace.